So, Bex, what is the main difference between me and Chris Hemsworth?
Well,
Okay, perhaps this isn't the most sensible question to ask your wife, unless you want to experience existential ego death. But eventually,
I guess you're similar in the way that you're both interested in the same things, like the longevity of your life and how to make the best of that. But he has limitless access to money and has contacts with people who are able to gain him access to things, whereas you don't.
in the National Geographic series Limitless, Chris Hemsworth undergoes a series of epic trials and extraordinary challenges in order to explore the limits of the human body, from extended fast to cold water distance swims, high crane walks and rope climbs. Along with experts like Peter Attia, he discovers how we can live better for longer by discovering ways to regenerate damage, maximise strength, build resilience, supercharge our memory and confront our mortality. And do our best to avoid the four horsemen: cardio and cerebral vascular disease, neurological disease such as Alzheimer's, cancer, and metabolic syndrome such as diabetes. Now, Bex claims to have never heard of Hemsworth before watching it, but she seemed very keen to watch the entire series a second time. What do you think we got out of watching it the second time around?
It's a very factually based series, and so there's lots of information in it. So I think it was more to do with consolidating that information and understanding it better, because it's quite science heavy, I suppose. I guess the three main things that I got out of it were reaffirming how important and the benefits of fasting were, how you should always challenge yourself in life, social situations or whatever they might be, and well, the fact that we've picked up dancing, I guess, since we watched it, because we discovered that triggers the hippocampus, and we need to obviously keep that healthy in order to have a healthy brain.
So we danced 20 years ago and it's been really good fun going back to that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Bizarrely, most of you watching this video aren't subscribed to the channel at this precise moment. This amazing community is expanding and I want you to be part of it. All you have to do to come along for the ride is hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down here. The more the channel grows, the more we can all do together. So March the 9th sees our 22nd wedding anniversary, and I'm going to give myself a year of challenges to tear everything apart and see what changes I can make, like proper changes, ones that stick, ones that work, and most vitally, ones that we can all do, not ones that need limitless resources and finances to achieve. One revolution of the sun, 365 days, 52 weeks, 8,760 hours, 525,600 minutes. That is a lot of time. I mean, you can go from 0 to having a 3-month-old baby in that time. And no, that is not going to be one of my challenges.
I think for each challenge, you're going to have to work hard physically and mentally to achieve them, which, you know, we can do together as a couple or as a family. So I think it'll bring us closer together. In the long term, I guess the idea is to make our latter years more fruitful.
Just how much change can you make in a year though? To be perfectly honest with you, I've never actually been happier in my life. It's taken a lot of work, soul searching and very, very hard decisions to reach this point. But the simple fact is that in the last 3 years, that hard work has resulted in a far more enjoyable experience, and one that I want to be around longer for to experience, longer than I ever have in the past. Quite the opposite, in fact. I want to be here as long as I can and be in the best shape I can to grab every single moment. Sure, I may have got here a little bit late, but it just means that I have to work more than most perhaps. But it also means the stark contrast from where where we were at the end of 2020 means that the change is far more obvious to me than perhaps it is to others. If a ship is 1 degree out and it's spotted early enough, it doesn't take very long to correct the problem, but I've pretty much spent the last 30 years heading 80 degrees out. Sure, I've periodically exercised my mental and physical health here and there, but for the most part, I've, well, pretty much done the opposite. Are you looking forward to growing old with me then?
We've already started growing old.
Oh,
Hester.
Do you really feel that?
What, that we've started to get old?
Yeah, old. It's such a weird word.
I mean, I don't feel old like in my personality, but I think my body has certainly started showing signs of aging, and my brain has, particularly since going through chemo. I don't know whether that's an age thing or whether that was due to chemo or whatever, but I don't feel that my brain is as sharp as it was prior to chemo.
You were super organised, weren't you? Like you were really sharp on that stuff, way better than I ever was. I learned loads over the years from you about how to go about being super highly organised. And do you think, because it was such an acute change, we had that 1 year of chemo and you came out the other side of it and it was a pretty obvious change. Do you think that's, in a weird way, a blessing in disguise? It's made us realise how, like, on a knife edge it could possibly be, and that we can make differences, right? So
yeah, we can, and I think we are already starting to implement them.
You're excited about this?
I am, as long as you don't try and get me to throw myself off a bridge on a bungee rope.
I don't want to do that one either. You just said earlier we needed to challenge ourselves, but yeah, okay. Yeah, so you want to watch me challenge?
My challenge is more driving somewhere without getting lost.
Yeah, well, that's a perfectly valid one. You probably want to know what some of the challenges are that I'm going to be doing, and frankly, so do I. Of course, there's going to be a very healthy dose of swim, bike, run in a variety of forms, and I'm also very lucky to have some mates that are experts in certain areas that can help us. And some have already agreed to give me some advice and also to set me some challenges, and that's all very exciting. But first up is an extended fast. I'm going to do a DEXA scan to pinpoint exactly my body composition. And if you want to know more about the one I did last year, then watch this. But then I'm going to do a 4-day fast followed by another DEXA scan to see exactly where the weight loss has come from. Another challenge will be a cold water swim. I live on the West Coast and I love swimming, but I hate the cold. So much so that I made this documentary series about it just so I could stay shoreside. Likewise, I can't even do a pull-up at the moment and I want to do a rope climb. I also hate heights. I've also always wondered whether I could have passed the Royal Marine Commando course. There are so many challenges and ideas that I want to do, so let's see which ones will benefit us and which ones we can learn from. But whilst all these activities will be fun to watch and scary for me to do, underlying them will be well-researched and achievable things that we can all do in our lives to live them better, enjoy them more and for longer, and that is the real goal, and I'm willing to be your guinea pig. Right, that's it. Leave me a comment below with any ideas or questions you have for challenges to look into, perhaps some research or experts to check out and read up on. And let's get on with this because the clock is ticking and I have wasted enough time being wasted. So look after yourselves and those closest to you. Love you.